Climate change is one of the most significant threats to the Caribbean region. The region therefore requires urgent action to mitigate its impacts and promote resilience. The maritime industry has been tasked with reducing its emissions, and the International Maritime Organization, through its initial strategy on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, has outlined levels of ambition as follows: carbon intensity of the ship to decline through implementation of further phases of the Energy Efficiency Design Index (EEDI) for new ships. To review with the aim to strengthen the energy efficiency design requirements for ships, with the percentage improvement for each phase to be determined for each ship type as appropriate. Carbon intensity of international shipping to decline. To reduce CO2 emissions per transport work as an average across international shipping by at least 40% by 2030, pursuing efforts towards 70% by 2050 compared to 2008, and GHG emissions from international shipping to peak and decline. To peak GHG emissions from international shipping as soon as possible, and to reduce the total annual GHG emissions by at least 50% by 2050 compared to 2008, whilst pursuing efforts towards phasing them out as called for in the vision as a point on a pathway of CO2 emissions reduction consistent with the Paris Agreement temperature goals. Commercial shipping accounts for more than 2.5% of these global greenhouse gas emissions. As a major commercial shipping destination, the Caribbean region is particularly susceptible to the impact of these emissions. One of the IMO's initiatives aimed at reducing emissions from international shipping is the global MTCC network project. Funded by the European Union and implemented by the International Maritime Organization, this project, titled The Capacity Building for Climate Mitigation in the Maritime Shipping Industry, established a network of 5 Maritime Technology Corporation Centers, or MTCCs, around the world. These centers are promoting technologies and operations that improve energy efficiency in the maritime sector to help navigate shipping into a low-carbon future.
IMO felt it important to ensure that it is also making that contribution to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. And therefore, the Global MTCC Network project was developed to have centers of excellence in different regions of the world to assist with the development or the reduction or measuring that reduction of greenhouse gas emissions based on the instruments that had specific requirements to be met at certain times in the future. The next most important reduction is in January 2020, where ships should reduce their sulfur dioxide emissions.
In December 2016, the University of Trinidad and Tobago was selected by the International Maritime Organization to host the Maritime Technology Corporation Center, MTCC, for the Caribbean. MTCC Caribbean is headquartered at the University of Trinidad and Tobago's Chaguaramas campus, which is well equipped to successfully deliver on the project's objectives. Under the GMN project, MTCC Caribbean works towards building capacity within the maritime administrations of the 16 Caribbean territories under its purview, facilitating the uptake of new sustainable technology and the setting up of a voluntary fuel reporting system. Partnerships have been formed with maritime stakeholders across the region, including maritime administrations, ministries, port authorities, shipping associations, pilots associations, ship operators, and technology providers. These partnerships assist in executing MTCC Caribbean's 2 pilot projects, which target vessels operating within the Caribbean region. The first pilot is presently capturing the baseline on the use of energy efficiency technology among ships. Based on the collected data, the cost-benefit analysis will be determined and will provide decision-makers with a clear picture for adopting energy-efficient technologies based on sustainable performance. The second pilot is establishing a fuel consumption data collection system. This will aid the regional flag states in the development of reporting lines as required by IMO regulations, which entered into force in March 2018. Reporting fuel consumption and computing emissions, it's also the first step to achieving greater fuel efficiency. Data for both pilot projects is currently being collected using MTCC Caribbean's data collection form. The form is completed by the crew of vessels calling at ports within the Caribbean and then processed by MTCC Caribbean. The forms are made available to the vessels by shipping agents and is completed and subsequently submitted by the vessel to the agent along with their pre-arrival documents. The shipping agent then forwards the form for MTCC Caribbean's use.
Climate action is an imperative for all of us. MTCC Caribbean, which is hosted by the University of Trinidad and Tobago, through its pilot projects and capacity building initiatives, is facilitating climate change mitigation in the maritime sector of 16 Caribbean territories. The MTCC team is very grateful to the support of our stakeholders that has enabled successful capacity building initiatives. Partner with us to facilitate our data gathering. Together we can make a positive impact in mitigating the effects of climate change in the Caribbean.